General Hospital spoilers. Brick discovers Sidwell killed Jason's closest relative. Sidwell's painful death shakes Port Charles. The shadows over Port Charles have been growing darker by the day, and General Hospital fans are about to be hit with a wave of shocking revelations, betrayals, and brutal consequences. The ongoing war between secrets and survival takes a devastating turn when Brick uncovers the chilling truth. Sidwell murdered Jason's closest relative. This discovery doesn't just rip apart Jason's world. It sets in motion a chain of events that ends with Sidwell's slow and painful death. But in true GH fashion, the road to that moment is filled with shocking confessions, explosive confrontations, and heart-stopping twists that no one will see coming. Let's dive deep into the upcoming spoilers, theories, and creative breakdown of how this storyline unfolds and why it will leave fans glued to their screens. In the weeks leading up to the revelation, Port Charles seems deceptively quiet. Jason has been trying to hold together the fragments of his life, grieving Monica's death, protecting Carly from Brennan's network, and trying to be present for Danny and Jake. But in the background, Sidwell has been working his own ruthless agenda. Sidwell's reputation as a cunning manipulator is growing. He's tied to criminal organizations, intelligence leaks, and has managed to escape accountability more than once. But no one realizes just how far his darkness truly goes until Brick starts digging. Brick has always been Sonny's trusted right hand, the man who can uncover the truth when no one else can. But this time, his investigation takes him into a territory that even he isn't prepared for. It all starts when Brick intercepts coded communications between Sidwell and an unknown operative. The messages reference the blood that silenced the Stone legacy. At first, Brick dismisses it as cryptic rambling. But something gnaws at him, the use of the word Stone. Stone Cates, Jason's old friend and Sonny's surrogate brother, has long since passed. But Brick's instincts tell him this isn't about Stone. He digs deeper, tracing financial transactions and Black Ops-style movements that lead him to a chilling conclusion. Sidwell had ties to a mysterious death in Jason's family tree. The question becomes, who? The bombshell hits when Brick discovers Sidwell orchestrated the death of Jason's closest living relative outside of his children, Emily Quartermain. Longtime fans remember Emily's tragic death at the hands of Diego Alcazar during the text message killer storyline. But Brick's investigation reveals a horrifying retcon. Diego was nothing more than a pawn. Sidwell, working behind the scenes, manipulated the events and ensured Emily's fate was sealed.
Why?
Because Emily had stumbled across confidential information about Sidwell's covert operations years ago while working with Nicholas at Windmere. She was never meant to be a casualty, but her kindness and determination to protect others made her dangerous to Sidwell's empire. Brick's realization is earth-shattering. Emily wasn't just Jason's sister. She was his heart, his conscience, and the family member who loved him unconditionally. Learning Sidwell was responsible for Emily's death reopens wounds Jason has never truly healed. Brick doesn't want to tell Jason until he's 100% sure. But once he compiles the evidence, bank records, intercepted communications, and testimony from a former associate, he knows he can't keep it hidden. In a gut-wrenching scene at the docks, Brick meets Jason late at night. Brick, I need you to hear me, man. And I need you to stay standing when I tell you this. Emily didn't die because of the text message killer. That was just the cover. Sidwell made sure Emily never made it out alive. Jason, stunned silence, fists clenching. What are you saying? Brick, I'm saying Sidwell killed your sister. Jason's grief is raw. His quiet intensity, his piercing stare, the way his hands shake even as his voice stays low, it's classic Jason Morgan. For years, he blamed himself for not being there to protect Emily. Now, he realizes her death wasn't fate. It was murder. And Sidwell is still walking free. Jason doesn't explode in rage. Instead, he goes cold, deadly cold. Fans know this Jason well. It's the version of him that emerges when he has a singular mission, justice. Or vengeance. He doesn't tell Sonny or Carly. He doesn't even confide in Sam or Liz. This is personal. He quietly begins gathering his own weapons, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. Brick, however, is torn. He knows Jason's instinct will be to kill Sidwell outright. But Sonny's empire has been under fire, and an unsanctioned hit could bring chaos. Still, Brick can't bring himself to stop Jason. After all, he uncovered the truth, and he knows Jason deserves his pound of flesh. Sidwell, always one step ahead, begins to feel the walls closing in. He notices increased surveillance. He hears whispers in the underworld. He realizes Brick is on his trail, and where Brick goes, Jason follows. In a chilling scene at the Metro Court, Sidwell raises a glass of whiskey to himself and mutters, "Sidwell, if Jason Morgan's coming for me, then let it be a war. But he'll never see me beg." Still, arrogance can only carry him so far. Sidwell starts making mistakes, becoming paranoid, lashing out at associates, and tightening his circle. But the tighter he pulls, the more pressure builds for his inevitable downfall. The climax begins in an abandoned warehouse on the edge of town, classic GH territory. Brick lures Sidwell there under the guise of a meeting about a weapons shipment. But when Sidwell arrives, it's Jason waiting in the shadows. The confrontation is brutal, raw, and dripping with emotion. "Jason, you killed my sister." Sidwell smirks. "I've killed a lot of people, Morgan. Remind me which one she was?" Jason steps forward, gun in hand. "Emily. Her name was Emily. She was worth more than you'll ever be." Sidwell tries to fight back, even pulling a weapon. But Jason's rage is unstoppable. He disarms Sidwell, beats him down, and pins him against the cold concrete floor. Brick enters, watching silently. He knows Jason has already crossed the line in his heart. Sidwell won't leave alive. Instead of a clean bullet to the head, Jason delivers a slow, painful punishment. He shoots Sidwell in the leg, crippling him. He drags him to the edge of the warehouse, where the tide from the harbor surges below. Jason doesn't rant or scream. He speaks in quiet, deadly tones. "Jason, Emily believed in mercy. She saw the good in people. But you don't deserve her mercy." Sidwell, bleeding and broken, laughs through the pain. Sidwell: "And what does that make you, Morgan? Executioner? Or just another killer?" Jason's response is ice cold. "Jason, it makes me her brother." With that, Jason leaves Sidwell to die slowly, alone, bleeding out as the tide rises around him. Brick watches, his face unreadable, but deep down he knows justice has finally been served. Sidwell's death sends shockwaves through Port Charles. Sonny is furious at first, realizing Jason acted without him. But when Brick explains Sidwell murdered Emily, Sonny softens. He knows what Emily meant to Jason and to himself. Carly is shaken. She worries this act of vengeance will consume Jason, dragging him back into a cycle of violence. But she also understands why he did it. Sam fears Jason is slipping back into a darkness that will eventually separate him from their family. Liz mourns alongside Jason, recognizing that Emily's ghost has always been between them. She offers comfort, even if Jason struggles to accept it. The Quartermains are blindsided. Monica is gone, but Ned, Tracy, and others learn the truth about Emily's murder. For once, they stand united in grief and in gratitude that Sidwell is no longer a threat. Brick is left with his own burden. By helping Jason, he crossed a line as well. He knows the organization could suffer blowback, and yet he doesn't regret it. For Brick, loyalty to Jason and Sonny outweighs everything. But he also understands that Jason's vengeance doesn't bring Emily back. The question looms, did Jason find closure, or has he just opened a new wound that will never heal? Sidwell's death may feel like the end, but in soap operas, every ending births a new beginning. Who will rise to fill Sidwell's place? His criminal empire won't vanish overnight. Rivals will come sniffing around. Will Jason face consequences? The PCPD won't ignore Sidwell's disappearance forever. Anna, Jordan, or even Dante could find themselves forced to confront Jason. Will Emily's memory bring Jason closer to Liz or Sam? This revelation could reshape his relationships with both women, reigniting old flames or driving deeper divides. Will Brick remain Sonny's loyal ally, or will this act of loyalty bind him more tightly to Jason? One thing is certain, Sidwell's painful death closes one chapter of Port Charles' history, but it cracks open a door to even darker stories waiting to unfold. General Hospital has always thrived on weaving the past with the present, and this storyline does just that. By tying Sidwell to Emily's tragic death, the writers resurrect one of the show's most beloved characters in memory, giving her story fresh meaning and her loss new weight. Jason's revenge isn't just about killing Sidwell, it's about reclaiming justice for Emily, about proving that love never dies, and about showing that even the darkest of men can be driven by the purest of bonds, family. But as Port Charles fans know, vengeance always has a cost. And Jason may soon discover that Sidwell's death is only the beginning of a much larger war.